Hi guys, this is Jay from the 0161, obviously. And tonight we are joined by the beautiful Calvin and Chris from Portrayal of Ruinn. How you doing, guys?
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
So, guys, I can't believe how fucking bad it's snowing as well. That's what's going on. We're going to be flooded.
Maybe that'll get me a week off work.
Oh, man, honestly, yeah. Well, you've had a vaccine. You've had a vaccine. Yeah, so we'll start off with the first question. Just give us a bit of a brief history about how long Portrayal of Ruinn have been going and why you started. Who influenced you to start your band?
So, first reason, like me personally, I was in a band beforehand. No one's going to have heard of him. It's Found From Within, progressive tech metal band. Went for a couple of years, but after that finished, I was really itching to get into another band. I think it took me about 2 years. So it was literally all I did was go on a website called Join My Band.
Yeah.
Went down that route. And all it was a bunch of vocalists looking for bands too. So it was like, that was a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But managed to find Tom Grogan. He was on there looking for vocalists. So I gave him a shout. He even said, yeah, we should do a meetup. I think he had a song written already. So when I just literally wrote down some lyrics for it, and then me, him, and Sean met up for the first time.
Yeah.
In Brunswick, we just booked the room out for 4 hours, and I think we just went for it. Just for 4 hours, just hit it off. I think I got a bit trash as well, which is the first memory that Tom remembers, because I had like 8 cans of punk IPA there because I was nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
Because these two were brothers, and I was like, oh, I've got to prove something here. Yeah, got trashed. But it went really well, obviously. We then found Sam, who was our older drummer, and joined my band.
Yep.
And we had another guy who was wanting to be a bassist, who was wanting to be in our band. I think he was in Pivotal Rapist at the time.
Okay.
But he then decided he couldn't do 2 bands at once, which was fine. So then I brought Fisher over because he was in my old band. So this was at the start of 2017. We just practiced every Saturday morning at Brunswick, but until we got our first gig, which was, I always forget, it's either March or May in 2018, and it was a Cherry Promotions in Rebellion.
Yeah.
Which was like run every Wednesday.
Was it one of them Untamed nights? Yeah,
one of the Untamed nights. Yeah. Ventures got us the gig, and it's because it was back when Dan Donovan used to be in Ventures, and we used to know each other, so he got us on the bill for that one. And after that, we were just, but next thing you know, we had an Alma gig 2 weeks later, which was with All Misery and Detest, so completely different. Fucking loved it, but we had the promoter who did that then got us to play Lancaster with Vicious Churn and Jonestown, so we pretty much hit the road head first. Yeah, and since then we mainly played gigs in Manchester, Sheffield, Lancaster, and then bits and bouts around here, Barnsley, Derby, all that stuff. And that was until Chris joined us at the end of 2019, which he'll take away with that one.
Yeah, well, I started in Portrayal in November, December 2019. I'd not been playing drums for about 6 to 8 years previous to this, basically. So I was trying to get back into it, get back into the music, get back into, writing, some proper tunes. And then all that went ahead. And then I went and broke my collarbone literally like 4 weeks into starting practicing with Portrayal. I came off a motorbike and I broke my collarbone out of action. Great. I think I was healed by about February, March time.
Well, I think that forced you to heal yourself.
Yeah, basically. And that was a few weeks before we had that big gig of the Metal to the Masses.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, and that's where we're at.
So for both of you, Calvin and obviously Chris, who influenced you? Obviously, Calvin as a singer. Did you have someone in a big band that influenced you to pick up the mic? And Chris, same as you, did you have an influenced drummer? Someone who influenced you?
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
but like, you want to go first, Chris?
It's all right, go ahead, Calvin. Go on, you go.
No, okay. Well, for example, for starters, I wanted to be in a band. So I started this late. I became a vocalist originally when I was 27. That was for the last band. So this band, I would have been 30, 32, 33, something like that. But before that, I wanted to be in band because I just want to be on stage, really, because you know me, Mr. Attention Seeker. Where better to get it than on the stage?
You
But at first,
Calvin.
I know. People don't seem to get this bit about me, but yeah, it may come to a shock on this interview, and it's gonna make a few people like tear up a bit. But yeah, I first tried to play guitar, couldn't do it. I was like, I'm not learning fucking Deep Purple and shit like that. I wasn't capable of running before I could walk. And then I tried drums about 10 years ago, but I was a bit too self-conscious about neighbors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I gave that up. And I just accidentally, it's weird because the main reason I learned how to do what I was doing was just being drunk and like jillies and stuff like that and just screaming along with songs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think I was just messing about on Guitar Hero one day, rock band, sorry, where you had the fake stuff, and I had things like Lamb of God and Devil Driver and all that stuff, and I was singing along to that, and my sister overheard me when I didn't think she was in the house, and she was just like, "Where the fuck did that come from? You should give that a go." So my originals were people, well, from like the groove metal days, Devil Driver, Chimera, Lamb of God, all that stuff. But then I progressed into Whitechapel, Suicide Silence. And that's pretty much how I started. There's always influences now. I didn't used to be just about vocals who I gained influence from, but these days it's more like lyrics and stuff as well. Like I'm listening to a lot of metalcore bands at the moment that have very similar lyrics, so like Currents and Alpha Wolf and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's me. Mine's always changing.
Yeah. And Chris?
Well, for me, I started listening to music at a very young age. Like I was growing up listening to all sorts of stuff like Bon Jovi, Alice Cooper, Whitesnake, all the classics. And I just knew, like, I always wanted to be a drummer because my dad was a drummer.
Right.
And seeing my dad playing drums in his bands, like in his 70s glam rock bands and all that, I was just like, yeah, I want to do that. And then, obviously, as I got older, maybe about 12, I started playing, and I was into drummers like Joey Jordison from Slipknot.
Yeah.
Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater was definitely a big influence because, you know, he's just amazing. So obviously, and all that sort of stuff, all my influences from Slipknot and Korn and Static X and all the new metal from when I was younger, whereas now I'm listening to stuff like Slaughter to Prevail, Viscera, Signs of the Swarm.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, basically that is what we're aiming for now, is to be up there.
That's all. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Because Calvin, you were saying before, you know, you look at Portrayal and I haven't been going that long, 2 years, and yet it seems to be that you've done so much as well in such a short time. You know, the amount of gigs we've seen you at personally, but obviously, like, you play Lancaster and, everywhere else as well. It's like there's a load in such a short time.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to the first one is who you know, isn't it? So when we've had our first gig, I just put up a status like send me promoter names, and that's one. It was someone sent me Jed Saint back when he used to do promoting, and he's one I got the All Misery one, and then when we did our set, he was like, "Oh, what do you think?" He was like, "That's great. Do you fancy playing with Mrs. Joe and Johnstown next time?" I was like, "Yeah." And then after that gig, he was like, "Do you fancy playing with Chugga Boom?" Which almost happened, and I'm very gutted it didn't, because they were like one of my favorite bands for a while. Yeah. And I think it just went off that. I think there was one point we were playing more outside of Manchester than we were in Manchester.
Yeah.
But then we got back into the Manchester scene. Honestly, I'm really happy with it. And I think, I do push them sometimes. I'm sometimes like, we need to do this gig. And even though they're like, "Oh, I don't know," I was like, "No, we need to do this gig." Yeah. I do a little strop. I strop sometimes, James. Yeah, you may have figured that out.
Yeah, I think I've sussed it. Yeah. But it's also, I've got to say, the amount of times it seems to be you like Tortured Demon in a way. Like Tortured Demon will play anything. Like you guys are the same. Like we've booked you a few times. Instantly, it's yes. It's never a no. You know, it sometimes might be a maybe. And so, like you said, Calvin, you've got to, you know, okay it with the rest of the band members. But it normally turns out to be, yeah, all right, we'll do it. And obviously that helps. That gets you out there to, you know, to other promoters.
Well, that's what we know. We know we're a new band, so it's you want to play gigs. You want to get your name out there. To be fair, this is another thing. It hasn't really happened that often, but I used to be like, even if you don't like the band you're playing with, just do it. But that hasn't happened either, really. It tends to be we tend to end up with the good bands.
Yeah.
For example, Manchester. There's too many. The scene is alive right now, so it's very difficult to end up on a crap lineup.
Yeah. Also, you know, if you look at the you know, you look at like the socials and that. Do you find, you know, you guys are you're like, again, like the small, you know, like the Tortured Demon, Steel Mage. You're on top of it with the socials. You know, you're always putting content out there. You always at least try to do something on your page. Do you think that helps? Do you think, you know, some underground bands do nothing? You know, they don't put anything on their socials, so they kind of fall by the wayside.
Yeah, I think social media counts far too much. I think for me personally, like even if
far too much.
Yeah, I hate it, but I mean that's the way of the world, isn't it? You're not a good band. You're not a good band if you don't have a lot of likes on your Facebook. You're not a good band if you haven't got a music video or like on Spotify or anything. You have to have all these things, and that's so. Like personally, like even on my personal profile, I try to make sure, even if it's not band related, just to post something because I know how it all works. Just keep your face out there, because even like since the COVID thing, there's some bands that I knew were like big in Manchester. I've not heard anything from them. Maybe they've got something going on. Maybe they've got some backgrounds and they're going to slam full force. That could be the way. Some of them might have given up and we don't even know about it.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I was going to say to you then, there's certain bands in Manchester that have not capitalised on where they were getting to just before the COVID. And obviously the COVID's hit and they've done nothing. So, you know, they haven't played a gig. They haven't put anything on the socials. Nothing. So you just fall down. I think you just fall down by the way. People forget about you very easily, especially Manchester. So many bands.
It's very easy to forget.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There's too many bands around here.
Yeah.
That means like we got lucky. Like since COVID, we've done 3 gigs. 3 gigs.
Yeah, 3 gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the online one. Yeah, online one when we played outdoor in Whittles and then played outdoor in Yalma. And that was probably 3 gigs more than most bands have been able to. And again, that could be for certain reasons. Like a lot of bands are keeping away, which is fine. I can understand that. A lot of bands, they might have someone that's high risk or is with high risk. So I can completely understand why people don't play.
Yeah.
But I think as a band ourselves, we get away with it. Like we're fine.
Yeah.
And we've not broken any rules. Like the online gig, we follow the rules. Whittles, we follow the rules. It stays. Even the Alma gig, we follow the rules.
Yep.
So it's not like we're not doing stuff like we shouldn't be doing. We're just making the most of it.
We're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know? Just trying to keep the music alive because, you know, people need it, especially during these times, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God,
yeah. So what's your views on? I mean, we've done. I mean, sadly, the one in January got cancelled, which was devastated. What's your views on the live stream events? And also, I mean, like I said, you have done a social distance one for us at Whittles. What's your views on them? Did you enjoy the social distance gig at Whittles, the outdoor one?
Well, the Whittles one we did, because it was the first live gig we did.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what the Whittles was. We knew that we were a bit different for them.
Yeah.
But we went for it anyway, and we were like, you know what? Who cares? Because I've always tried to tell myself, if there's one person in that crowd that's never heard of you before and then likes you, and you gain a follower, then it's a worthy gig. Exactly. You might get about 50 people stood in the background doing their ears like, what's this noise out? Why is this not AC/DC? But and you know what? That kind of makes us laugh too. Sean's even got a few. He's got a memory. Whenever he got nervous at that gig, he just looked at this one gig guy in the back, and he was literally stood there like this. For half an hour. Like he did it for half an hour.
But the thing is, though, I actually did see people come off when you came off stage, and obviously you were there with like Lisa and all that. And I saw people come up to you. and chat to you about the band and stuff like that. So obviously there was people that were interested. Which again,
you just gotta play. You just gotta play a gig like that. There are going to be people that will be interested.
Yeah.
And then because you mentioned the online gigs as well. We did that online gig with John Badger.
Yeah.
And what I think maybe because I'm looking at it a bit differently, but I really looked forward to it. I knew it would be different. You get a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I don't want to play an online gig because there's no crowd." And let's face it, we all want.
Well, we had that ourselves. We were messaging bands. We were getting messages off bands saying, "Can we do it?" But there were certain bands from Manchester we were approaching to do it, and they were like, "We don't feel we can play in front of a camera rather than people being there." Which we found a little bit odd.
I can get that.
Yeah.
I think it's because you put yourself into a mentality when you're on stage. But because like the Badger one, for me personally, I was like, right, there's not going to be anyone. To be fair, we've played crowds where there were like 2 people, so it makes no difference on that one. We were like, fair enough with that joke, but
there's probably more people there behind the scenes than what there probably was at some of the gigs. We played, like me personally, I was talking to them as if they were on Facebook, because like, all right, Facebook, rip your living room apart. I was doing all that. I was looking at the camera and everything, just because you just got to adapt to it. And that's what we did. And we did perfect. And then it turned out that was probably the biggest crowd we did, because there was one point, I think 180 people watching.
Yeah.
But you've got more than one person watching at a time sometimes. So for me personally, in the future, when the world comes back to normal and all that, I think I would like to do a mix of live and streaming. I think if the streaming gigs are promoted right, you could do a hell of a good job with them.
Well, what said you? Do you think there's still I mean, when gigs come back, do you think there's still a place? Do you think people will, still sit there and watch a live stream rather than be thinking, I want to go out?
I think there is, because how many people complain that people don't go to gigs?
Yeah.
How many people don't go to gigs anymore, but it's for certain reasons, like maybe they stuck home with the kids, or they're too tired, or what British people like, it's raining,
or
I don't like that one band on the bill, so I'm going to stay home. Any excuse people can think of to stay home, they'll do it, because there's so many things at home to do that you can just. I've got so much shit at my house that sometimes I'm going to find it difficult after COVID to leave flats.
Yeah. The thing is,
so I think it.
Sorry, mate.
I think it goes for. I think you've got different crowds, haven't you? You've got the people that want to be in the fucking mosh pit, smashing their mate up and fucking hugging them and getting a pint straight after, and you've got the people that don't want to deal with that. Yeah. If they can watch it on their 58-inch TV, then they might be happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying before about the numbers, it's like we found with ours. Obviously you might have 150, 200 people watching it. But then the stream stays on actually on Facebook or on YouTube, so the numbers roll into the thousands of views, which obviously people watching, people that could check your Facebook page out, buy merch. So obviously there's a good place for that.
And I don't know about Chris, but it was good to watch us back when we finished the gig.
Yeah,
I went home, got a beer.
Yeah. So obviously I know Chris, you've not been on as long in the band, but. What's your favourite gigs that you have played so far?
My favourite gig was probably the Alma gig, because that was done really well, and the Metal to the Masses.
Yeah,
that was a fantastic gig.
Yeah,
and obviously we got wildcarded on that one.
You did. You did.
Great.
So me and Calvin have discussed that many a time.
Yeah, James gets a bit drunk and tells me things.
Yes, I like to brag about. You already knew. You already knew. Calvin, what's your favourite gig, mate?
So, I mean, like, out of all of them, because it's always for like different reasons, isn't it? Firstly, the one that we were the most proud to play was Badger Fest.
Okay.
2019, because when Badger offered it to us, I don't think we'd even been playing 6 months. We played one gig with him for GC, and then we jumped on a bill last minute for a second one a couple months later. And he said the reason we got on the bill is because of how much we'd progressed since those 2 gigs. So he said he was giving us a shot, and it was the most frustrating thing possible because we kept that quiet for about 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
And then when it finally turned up, it was an incredible experience. It was just we were overjoyed to be asked to play it, to actually play it, and the response we had as well.
Yeah.
And then we've played a few big ones, like we played Chesterfield in January last year.
Yeah. Is that with Borders?
Which
was that Borders, right?
Yeah. So we had Borders for 500. And we turned up. Nobody knew who we were. I think Sean and Tom have gained the favorite quote from me because I cocked up. I literally said on stage, "We are Portrayal of blah." I just completely forgot our band name halfway through, and I actually had people go, "You were great, but what were you called again?" But we were stood there, we were going for it, and the first song floor was empty, but by the end of it, it was just filled with a bunch of hardcore kids and stuff. Because Old Wharf were playing.
Yeah.
Before, after us, and they brought a big crowd, and for some we didn't expect them to watch us, but then all of a sudden they all just sat and we just saw fucking windbreakers and stuff. We were like, yes, this is it. But I agree with Chris that my favorite one was Death Metal to the Masses last year, purely for a personal experience, because we got kicked out of the first round on the year before. I made it like a personal quest to make sure that we did fucking shit hot the next year. And I mean, like everybody else, everybody else improved too, but I was really like, I knew why I failed the last time, and it was like my showmanship was shite.
Yeah.
So I knew that's the bit I had to improve, and that's the bit I got told I had improved on the week. But Wildcard as well, like Chris said, Wildcard was we were the only ones that got a wild card. At first, when we got it, it just felt like third place. But when we actually thought about it, it was like, no, it's not. It sounds quite difficult to get, and we were proud of that.
It was explained to you how it works as well, which obviously
it was explained, and the more you explain it, the more difficult it sounded like it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Plus, it was Chris's second gig with us. He played. We played the Pier Hat like a week beforehand.
Pier Hat a week before.
Yeah, which was a really good gig as well. With Severin for the headliners, and that was fucking great gig. Yeah, that was a dirty gig. Joe Spooner ran that one, and like every band smashed it.
I think it was a midnight promotion one.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
Yeah,
it was great. a good warm-up.
Yeah, it was great.
With the COVID and stuff like that, no gigs, but gives you more time to come up with ideas, write new material. So just to finish this off, let everyone know what you're working on, what ideas you've got coming up. Have you got releases coming out? Interviews? Have you got any like videos and stuff that you're going to be doing?
No.
No.
No, we're going to stick to the songs we got now. We're going to do that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Nah. Do you want to start this one off, Chris?
Oh well, we've got quite a few raw already. We just need to get in the studio, don't we?
Yeah, we've got we've got the EP planned, and I was having a COVID moment last week because the whole just staying home playing PlayStation, mine got mushy. I got a bit freaked out. So, like me personally, I think the guys had already talked about it because I was not at a band practice week before because I had a sore throat. I didn't want to risk it. Turned out to be nothing, by the way. Don't worry.
And Calvin's had his vaccine, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've had my vaccine too, so I'm immune. I'm the super race now.
You are.
But like I had like loads of plans of what we can do. So yes, we've got an EP on the way. We're looking into getting that recorded now.
Have you got a time? Have you got a time when you want that out for? Or?
No. We've got a rough plan of what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's possible single or two before the EP actually comes out.
Yeah.
But we want to get stuff recorded.
Yeah.
I've currently talked to someone about artwork and stuff, getting merchandise, getting brand new merchandise. And we want this EP ready before the world starts to open up, and then we can hit the ball rolling. We've got a few gigs on the way as well, hopefully should be doing. We've got the Torture Demon EP gig, which we're, I keep
Can't
saying
wait.
that album gig.
Can't wait for that, yeah.
I can't wait for that. Even if it doesn't happen in April, I know it's going to happen, so I can't wait for that one.
We'll just we have to keep pushing it back because it's got to happen. So
yeah.
Oh,
especially since Beyond Salvation got put on the bill too, so we're quite happy with that.
Yeah, I was gutted about Unbury. Obviously, they lost. I think they lost the band member, but because obviously we've never seen them before. But yeah, having Beyond Salvation obviously ups the game a bit. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Should be good.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. We've got the one in March for Solar Shift.
Yes.
And Only the Righteous, as well as Clash Mute as well.
Yep. Not sure on that one. Yeah, not sure at all.
Yeah, the way the world's looking like the thing I can be happy about with the Torture Demons because I know it's going to get pushed back. So it's like, okay, if it doesn't happen in April, it's going to do it some other time.
Yeah.
And then we've got a secret one in September, but we're not allowed to mention that one yet.
In Manchester? In Manchester?
No. It's is it Southampton?
Oh, bloody hell! Right.
Somewhere. Somewhere like that, yes.
Yeah, somewhere like that. I need to double check that one. But it's a weekender. Just can't promote it yet because again, it's September, so we should hope that something could happen, but you never know, dear. And I will flip my shit if it doesn't happen because one of the bands that we're playing with, I've been listening to for about 10 years now. So I would really, really appreciate it if it fucking happened. And then we got SummerSlammer, and then we got some bellends like asked us to play his like wedding thing like a year after his wedding. Like I don't know why.
I don't even know who he is. I've seen the gig. I don't even know who he is. The guy's a knobhead though.
But for some reason he's got us really low in the lineup, and I don't think he has taste. So
but at least you got on there. Ben's still fuming that he's not on it.
Yeah, good. Mine is forever.
Right, Calvin, Chris, I want to just thank you for jumping on here for us tonight, guys. I want to thank Calvin. I want to thank Calvin for reminding me. Because
were you half cut before when I messaged you?
No. I just totally forgot. It's because we've got millions of these now. We must have about 6 a week or something. So. Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah, but the fact is that you decided to wear the same top as me is just...
That's a bit random, isn't it? Yeah, that's a little bit random, and it is a little bit embarrassing. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it tonight. Cheers.
No problem.
Can't wait to see this online.
I know, yeah, you will do. Drew's going to edit it, and see you there. See you later, guys.
Yeah. Keep the ruin going, son. Bye.